Montrezl Harrell is now a Los Angeles Laker as he agreed to a 2-year, $19 million deal to flip from his rival ball club. He's now a Laker. He's leaving the Clippers as the sixth man of the year. It's a shock to me, even as a Laker fan. I can't believe we pulled that one off. We kind of stole that guy from the Clippers. And it's not just a shock to me or you. It's a shock to Clippers as well. Patrick Beverley, the Clippers starting point guard, went to his social media account to react to the news of Montrezl Harrell joining the rival Clippers. I mean, that Clippers group got together. They had their mindset on beating that Lakers team in the Western Conference Finals. They obviously lost to the Denver Nuggets in 7 games after leading that series 3-1. And things are changing in Los Angeles for the Clippers. You got to believe if that Clippers team gets past Denver, and as a Laker fan, I'm man enough to admit that I do believe the Clippers would have got the better of the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals. It's a bad matchup for the Lakers. You got to believe if the Clippers make it to the finals, they pay the money, Steve Ballmer and company pay the money to bring all those guys back, including Montrezl Harrell. They just lost JaMychal Green. We'll talk about that more in a second on this platform. You got to believe they bring all those guys back in the mix for one more go at it. But because of that, because of the fact that they lost in such an embarrassing fashion, they fired Doc Rivers. They went and got Ty Lue. I think changes are happening. You know, Ty Lue was an assistant. Now they bring him in as the head coach. The changes are happening in Los Angeles, and we'll see if it is for the better. Now, also, while we're talking Clippers, I want to just quickly go here. JaMychal Green is also leaving that Clippers bunch. A 2-year, $15 million deal is what JaMychal just signed moments ago with the Denver Nuggets, or verbally agreed to, excuse me. No deals have been signed as of yet. But again, JaMychal Green is going to leave that Clippers ball club as well. He'll be heading to Denver on a 2-year, $15 million deal. JaMychal Green is a guy who's, he was sparingly used in that Clippers lineup in that rotation. He was in and he was out. But I'm hearing JaMychal Green was a big guy in that locker room. And once again, you see Patrick Beverley respond on his social media account saying, y'all ain't wrong, but congrats to my boy. Damn. He's obviously not the happiest of losing 2 glue guys in that locker room in Montrezl and JaMychal on the same night. But, JaMychal Green is a guy who's going to come into Denver, and he's going to essentially replace the role of Jeremy Grant. I mean, look at it. You're playing JaMychal Green about $7.5 million a year. Jeremy Grant just signed in Detroit for $20 million a year, so you get a $13 million discount, and you do have to ask yourself, I know Jeremy Grant to most is better than JaMychal Green, but is he $13 million a year better and an additional year better than JaMychal Green? The Denver Nuggets, even though they offered Jeremy $60 million, they offered him the same deal that he took in Detroit, the 3-year $60. You got to believe they're like, okay, we save ourselves some money. We don't have our guy Jeremy. He's moved on, but we got a suitable replacement for him as we sign Jeremy Grant. Another blow to that Clippers group. And at some point you realize, like, the Clippers handed out a lot of money. Patrick Beverley's gotten paid. Obviously, Paul George already had a contract coming into the Clippers. They just paid Kawhi Leonard last summer. They just gave Marcus Morris a re-up today. And, I'm looking around, Ivica Zubac got a deal last year as well. They've handed out a lot of money, and I think it's starting to catch up with them. And I just hate that for Lou Williams, because Lou Williams took a discount. He could have gotten a bigger bag if you look at some of the bags that have been handed out over the last few years. Lou took a discount at about $7-8 million a year to give that Clippers team some flexibility. And he's gotten he went to the second round of the playoffs and lost. He's losing guys like Montrezl Harrell that he loves, right? That Clippers team, in my estimations, as of right now, they don't look better today than they did yesterday or before this offseason started. That's just my opinion. But again, the Clippers, they still have work to do. They do have a little bit of cap flexibility to go out and get someone. We'll see who that someone is. It won't be JaMychal Green, and it won't be Montrezl Harrell, as both of those gentlemen have moved on to different organizations. I'm out.